Hey guys, and welcome to a very somber wrestling days. So the news has broken that George the Animal Steele has sadly passed away. George the Animal Steele, one of the most iconic wrestlers of the 1980s and 70s in a way, but really, with the emergence of cable TV and the expansion of the WWF, George the Animal Steele was really front and centre, a big part of that expansion. He was very much a wild man. He would come into the ring, he wouldn't really talk, he would start eating the turnbuckle, ripping out the padding, and he'd be chewing on it. And then, he was a very hairy individual as well. And he did just come across as this absolute wild man. But the fans loved him as a result, and he had some fantastic feuds. He had a brilliant feud with Macho Man Randy Savage. He actually developed a crush on Miss Elizabeth, which was it was really funny. And they had some great matches. He was ringside as well for that fantastic WrestleMania 3 match, Intercontinental match between Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Macho Man, and George the Animal Steele was ringside for that. His career started late 60s, went through to late 80s, so he was wrestling for like 2 decades. Sadly, he developed Crohn's disease, and that was very much the end to his wrestling career. He was told in the early 2000s that had gone, that had passed. He actually had a lot of surgery for that. But he's not been well. He had more surgeries in 2015, and sadly he passed away in a hospice. I think the news is saying yesterday, on the 16th of February. But he made his mark. He made his mark. He really is one of the all-time greats. Mattel released a Legends figure of him way back in 2010. I think there's a Hall of Fame figure for him coming out as well. Might have already come out in the US, but there's a figure coming out here in the UK for George the Animal Steele, because he went into the Hall of Fame in 1995. The Hall of Fame started 1993 with Andre going in first. A couple of years later, they put in George the Animal Steele. That was how much of an impact this guy had. He was one of the first guys to go into the Hall of Fame. Should point out as well that he is a very decorated wrestler. He won a lot of championships on the indie scene, including the NWA Tag Team Championship. I know WWE will do a fantastic job of pulling together a highlights package for him. I'm sure there'll be something on Raw and SmackDown next week. But yeah, with the news emerging, I just wanted to put my thoughts out there as well. So obviously condolences to the family, and rest in peace, George the Animal Steele.